In a shocking turn of events, it turns out that most of the major media outlets out there were none too happy with the election results on Tuesday. And of course, I found it incumbent upon myself and my panel of guests to make fun of them. Renegade Online. These are some clips last night, the best media meltdowns of yesterday evening.
This is the biggest red wave I've seen since Ronald Reagan's 49-state victory.
There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country.
I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
I hear what you're saying, and I do see it differently because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight.
If she were a 6'4" white man from Arkansas or from, Florida, do you think she would be losing by that much?
That we've got to be.
I can't, Ron, you're still muted.
She would never have been the candidate.
I mean, it's just, this is the kind of stuff that makes days like this fun.
Well, it is, and it shows that they really, at least now, they have not learned anything as of now, because their go-to is to blame Black men and Latino men for being racist and misogynist, and that is why she lost. The candidate who is really yet to tell us what she actually believes and stands for.
Right.
I got a number for this. Check this out. 70% of American adults are not concerned about being accused of racism. They just don't care.
That's from polling data you did.
And not only that, everyone I know, if you haven't been accused of racism, you're definitely doing it wrong.
It's like street cred.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's keep going.
Be honest, among Hispanic men and Black men,
we got to get Al Sharpton.
We've got to be honest among.
From, Florida, do you think she would be losing by that much?
That we've got to be honest among Hispanic men and Black men, there's a lot of misogyny.
There are African American women who know a little bit about being talked down to.
Van Jones.
And know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who try to dream a big dream over the past couple of months.
It's not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
There's misogyny.
Can I just say, I hate Joy Reid's guts. Sorry.
It's ridiculous that she's working. It's ridiculous that she's working. She's an established fraud.
Yeah. Ron, she came after us because of the email leak. Did you hear that?
No. Yes, I remember.
The MSNBC, none of the news outlets would run with it except for New Republic. And then the second they released it, she's like, well, Rasmussen, blah, blah, blah. And then the very next day, James O'Keefe dropped that Project Veritas thing showing that they're basically got the Kamala Harris campaign hand up their butts. So, I mean, it's so embarrassing for them.
Yeah, figures. And again, Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen, blacklisted by so many people out there. And he was the one that was right the whole time. Just throwing that out there, kids.
But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from Black men.
We are going to piss everyone off now. We've gone after the white people. Now we're coming after the Black folks. Now we're going to come after the Latino folks. This is what MSNBC is now. This is what the Democrat Party is saying. This is what this is insane. So, this is what we're going to get into a little bit later, but it's like, what is Hollywood going to do with it? Is this really going to be their attitude, making film and television for the next 4 years? Is this, we're going to deal with misogyny? We're now going to make sure that if we need a villain, instead of casting a white guy every time as the villain, we're going to have to diversify the villains again. That's because they're all bad. This is nuts.
And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy.
Things we've all been...
It's like, dude, what? Why? Wow.
It's such garbage. It's just their talking points. It's pure nonsense. It's so fake watching him.
And it's what they're paid to do. It's what that's their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got 30 seconds left on this one.
Been talking about who do not want a woman leading them might be who do not want to talk
As worthy.
things we've all been talking about who do not want a woman leading them might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States.
To all the pollsters.
Latino men are inherently racist, or sexist rather, against having women leaders. This is where we're going now. Now, this one I love. This was my point about earlier, and I want everybody to pay attention. I think this is the clip from Jon Stewart coming up. I want everybody to pay attention to what he's about to say, and I know he's going to lump. I don't know if you've seen this, Mark. He's throwing you all under the bus, but I think this is the opportunity here for people to realize this is why the new media, this is why they really hate Elon Musk. This is why they really hate X. And they're really, really freaking nervous right now. Here it comes.
To all the pollsters, the election pollsters, blow me. I don't ever want to from you again, ever.
People who said that he...
Yeah, Mark, you want to react to that one? Because you had it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they hang on every number that comes out. They're the ones that worship Nate Silver. They're the ones that read those big, long diatribes from Nate Cohn at New York Times. And what he's saying there, I think, has two messages, and neither of them were directed at me. One of them is, why didn't you shill harder and drag her rotten corpse over the finish line? And the other is, I mean, like, tell me I'm wrong, seriously. And then the other is, at the end, when they move back to the right to save their credibility, they basically all called the race too close to call, but not a single one of them would put a map out that showed Donald Trump winning. And so the subliminal message there is, don't worry, wink, wink, Harris is going to win. We're just trying. And it was an utter lie. And he's mad he got lied to, as he should be. But the thing is it's not going to drive a change in his behavior or what he says to people. So it's kind of sad, really.
But at what point? So these people, they don't come necessarily. I would say the Dems don't maybe watch your channel, Mark, or listen to some of the other pollsters that actually were very accurate this election cycle and have been the previous. At what point do the Democrats realize the polls have underestimated this man 2 times? Maybe don't put so much stock into these polls.
They passed a Democrat +3 poll of Iowa around the internet like it was the latest batch of cocaine. I mean, it was like disgusting. It was trending #1 on Twitter. So there
Not only Mark and I discussed this a couple of years on the show. I asked him, as a non-polling professional, this what sampling? The +3 Democrat, that seems to be the sweet spot. That seems to be how you make that call. And yet it's people don't pay any attention the press. Listen, but they also have their...
Ron, I'm literally saying they had Harris up 3 in Iowa when it went 14 points.
This is the Ann Seltzer poll, right?
The 17-point miss, and there was zero logic or critical reasoning or, balancing it in the context of all the other polling. They just ran with it, and they do the same thing with me. And they won't trust me because they don't trust people who, and I'm using the royal they, but there's a lot of people that don't fit into this, but they perceive that any biases I might have invalidate with anything that comes out of my mouth. That's because they unperson people, and they won't allow the cognitive dissonance that, I'm putting out something that they don't want to see. So they're just going to ignore me and continue to, because they use the trigger words. I'm called a far-right pollster, and that's kind of like the social signaling that they probably used to ostracize people 400 years ago in the Pilgrim communities or whatever, right? I mean, it's like shaming and ostracization as a form of like social bullying.
I think it's because they just don't like your full, rich, fine hair.
There. I lost a lot of it this week, though. I'll tell you what.
Let me finish this up.
Hair jealousy is the hidden scorn that people just do not want to talk about it. I'm just saying.
That you're probably right. I lost mine years ago. I got married. I had 3 kids. That was it.
You again, ever.
People who said that he was a Hitler lover weren't Democrats, they were Republicans. People who said that he was a fascist weren't Democrats, they were Republicans who worked for him.
What? So it was the Republicans that called him. I realized 2016 there was some talk about that during the primary, and it was but it stopped. That was 8 years ago. The only people who have been running the Hitler train here with Trump for the last 8 years were the people on that show, on MSNBC, on CNN, on The View, on all this other. They did that.
Where they did a Trump version or something.
Yeah.
If the woman goes like this, it means her husband is forcing her to vote for Trump.
It's ridiculous.
No,
It's
ridiculous. The rhetoric. Now, the other thing that you notice as a Canadian is that you Americans do everything really huge. I mean, there no prisoners. What's the saying? No prisoners are taken, or whatever. You guys take no prisoners. It's like everything is bigger. The religion, the elections, the hyperbole. Everything is louder and bigger from my perspective. Like, you guys are incredible. It's amazing how you can actually survive it down there.
Yeah, I know. It is wild. I mean,
so I have a question for you, Valiant.
Mhm.
Do you think that, I mean, to a certain degree, Twitter allowing pretty much everybody on the platform except for me, I don't know how influential that is. That's just more fair. Would you maybe think that YouTube itself and the people on it, like Joe Rogan's and yourselves and Friday Night Tights, things like that, maybe have a bigger influence than Twitter?
Well, yes and no. It depends, I guess, specifically what level of influence. Like when it came to the speed of information flowing in real time and the amount of sharing, X took the cake last night. I guarantee
no question.
Yeah, I don't know if Elon Musk has actually put out data yet. They probably don't have it all yet, or maybe they have put it out. I don't know, but he's probably going to come out. How many engagements happened, how many likes and clicks, and the news was just, I mean, warp speed last night. The traditional legacy media cannot keep up with that.
No.
And YouTube, you can if you're live, but a lot of times you're live and you're looking at data on Twitter, right? You're looking at X.
But I'm talking about pre-election, really. That's what
pre-election. Yeah, look, I think X had a lot to do with it. YouTube had a lot to do with it, at least insofar as what you could say and do on YouTube. So it just depends. But I mean, even still, when I had a member stream, I think 2 of my last streams were limited ad revenue. Or couldn't be monetized because of content, because we talked about the 2020 election compared to this one. Bring that up and you talk about things that it's ridiculous.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you deal with on YouTube. I'm gonna play one more clip here because some of these are just kind of funny. The distraught faces of Kamala Harris supporters. This was last night.
Mean.
I know, but this is kind of where I think Hollywood. Obviously, this is where they are right now. You had Disney putting out the Avengers.
That was terrible.
It was terrible. It's like they're calling up all their friends. They don't get it that America doesn't care what Hollywood celebrities think. They don't care what ex-strippers think, like Cardi B, who used to drug men and rob them. Which she admitted to. So I'm not saying anything that's out of. That's what she said she did.
And she's made some very Disney friendly rock videos, music videos, by the way.
I mean, so here we go. Gotta love the music.
You won't hear from the vice president tonight, but you will hear.
I was surprised because this was the guy who did this. This is Cedric Richmond. He's from Louisiana. He was a congressman from here. And I think he's not running again this time. He's in a different district from where I'm at.
He's very natty.
Yeah, he's been in Washington now for it's got to be 15 years at least.
Hear from her tomorrow.
White dudes for Harris, White dudes for Harris.
Believe it.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I hate this because all these people come out for Kamala Harris, her supporters, and then they've been standing out there for hours, and then you ditch them.
You know what my title would be over top of this would be future dash cam, future police body cam video.
God.
So it goes.
I really this is the one I wondered about the most.
Hairdressers
Thank
are
you
all going to be suffering.
for all that you have done. Thank you
What
for
happens
being
to our
here.
hairdressers?
More white dudes for Harris.
Thank you for believing
Oh,
in the
those two guys are gay.
I love the
Oh, there's
irony.
Ron Howard.
I know. I it looked like I saw that. I was like, wait. I love the irony of this button here. I know you can't see my cursor moving on it. It says we're not going back. Meanwhile, they had to turn around and leave right after the speech was over.
in the promise of America.
Oh my God, I didn't realize. Is that Harry Sisson guy?
No, I don't think so.
It's not. It kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Profile.
Yep.
I mean, I can't tell. All those little beta boys look alike.
We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted.
Every legal vote
That's right.
is going to be counted.
And every voice has spoken.
You realize these people were standing out there for hours.
Yeah, they should have at least gotten a speech.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna-
There could also, I would love to, I mean, I got to get that video and just put all these cut lines under it. I could have been at a pro-Palestinian rally.
Paul Chatto's next video,
Yeah.
you just saw the idea go off in his head, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.